Ooh, I wish I could sing because I would start out with a little bit of that, you know? But I don't want to run y'all out of here. Okay, so I'm going to need a little help from you all with my piece, okay? So when I point at you, and it's going to be 3 points, I'm going to need for you to say representation equals power. Okay, you can do that for me, can't you? So we're going to practice. Representation equals power. And now I want you to say it from your chest. I want you to let them hear it on bravado. I want you to say it like you know it's true. Let's practice.
Representation equals power.
All right, here we go. And again, my name is Dionne D. Hunter. Queen City, quite the moniker for a town brimming with beautiful African-American women. Yeah. Women who exude love and support for family and community. Women who lead during the toughest of times. Women who aren't afraid to make history. Wait, I meant to say her story. These queens of Charlotte include Hattie Walker, who grew up during the 1960s, when the mire of segregation washed over our nation, leaving restrooms, water fountains, and job opportunities separate and subpar. But Hattie refused to be subjugated, a young woman concealing her trepidation behind a well-manicured facade, as she took part in Charlotte's first sit-in. With threat of bodily harm and jail time looming, Hattie placed her pride, her body, and her life on the line, exposing the festering sore known as segregation, as she claimed rights that would be inherited by generations, all because she understood that representation equals power. After the death of her father, Dovey Johnson Roundtree and her family were left alone to fight through poverty, only worsened by the shackles of Jim Crow. But Dovey never capitulated. Determined to succeed, she worked her way through Spelman College. And then she found herself fighting discrimination in our very own armed forces. Now, did she give up? Did she fall silent? No, she became the lawyer who filed suit ending segregation on interstate buses. All because she understood that representation equals power. Some of you might think that the old saying, reading is fundamental, is a bit cliche. But there was a time when blacks learning to read was punishable by death. And that was because the people in power thought that there was nothing more dangerous than a Negro that could read. And that was because even they understood that representation equals power. That's right. That's right. That leads us to Allegra Westbrook. As a child, she was drawn to the beautiful garden of wisdom that her mother planted. She dreamt of crossing the magical threshold of the segregated library. She longed to reach the sweet nectar of knowledge held between the beautifully bound books kept just outside her reach. And as an adult, not only did she cross that threshold, she became Charlotte's first African-American library supervisor and established mobile libraries to serve the communities from which she came, because she understood as well that representation equals power. Ella Scarborough had to fight from the moment of her birth. Premature and in distress, Ella was denied access to the nearest emergency room. That is, until the cries of her father, "I refuse to let my baby die," knocked down the segregated doors off the hinges. And from that day forward, Ella's wake swept over Charlotte like a wave clearing out a battered sea. Ella became the first African-American female to be elected to Charlotte City Council and was the first African-American woman to serve as vice chair. All this because she understood, maybe a little bit more than everybody else, that representation equals power. Viola Alexander Lyles, Charlotte's first African-American female mayor, learned resilience at an early age while growing up in a large family rooted in faith. There she developed the strength she would need to survive many trials and tribulations, trials that would mold her into a woman that would make her story. By winning that very first election, then Mayor Lyles went on to win again and again, winning second and third terms as mayor of Charlotte, one of the fastest growing cities in America. And when mothers bring their daughters to visit her, she looks at them in the eyes and says, "I may be mayor, but you can be governor or even president." And right she is. And all the praise belongs to those like Hattie Walker, Debbie Johnson Roundtree, Allegra Westbrook, Ella Scarborough, and Mayor Vi Lyles, our motivators, protectors, ancestors, queens of Charlotte and beyond, who understood, dreamed, and achieved because they understood without a doubt that representation equals power. Thank you. And if you'd like to find me, my IG is DIONNED Hunter on Instagram. And you can also find that on Facebook. I love you guys. Thank you.